have always also already started looking at diversification. Very often we tell our members when they talk about this that, you know, your byline should be, we also sell air tickets. Because that's what it's come down to. When you can add value, then definitely you can charge for it. Of course, this is all linked to the bigger picture of ethics in tourism, where there are certain agents who will go to any level, even in the tourism, in the package tour business. It's not only ticketing. When we talk about survival, that's what this whole thing was about. I mean, yes, travel agents will survive commission, no commission. It's going to be a tough haul, long haul though. And a lot of people will fall by the way. We'll also have to look at whether this IATA accreditation system serves any purpose anymore whatsoever. I mean, you go through this whole rigmarole and you're subject to all these rules and regulations which only apply to agents. None of those rules can be enforced upon the airlines. As per IATA, they're powerless to implement their own resolutions against their own members. They can implement them against agents. So with the diversification that each one of us is exploring in our own little ways, trying to find our niches, you've got to look at least you can't do tourism without air travel. That's the sad truth. And there is a lot of work that goes into finding the right ticket for that right passenger. Unfortunately, the trend over here has been not to pay for services if you can get away without paying for them. There's also a tendency among the consumer to believe, well, you're the dealer, I mean, you must be getting something out of it. Unfortunately, we've laid ourselves bare. You know, when we had 9% agency commission, many of our colleagues went and said, I'm getting 9%, I'll give you 7%. So then that became the norm. I mean, how many of us know what is the dealer's margin on a television? None of us. They never tell you. Here we're ready saying, come take me. The associations can play a very, very vital role in this whole business by way of education. Education to the members and education or awareness to the public of what the travel agent is bringing to the table. We need to stop, you know, only talking now. I don't mean this any other way. I mean, the trade press understands our issue. We need to get this out into the mainstream. And if you get it out into the mainstream, you've got to be prepared to make certain statements. You've got to go in there prepared with a plan of action when you go to the press. So we've got to get the word out that the travel agent is fulfilling a need. The OTAs are not going to go away, and I accept that they are also travel agents, you know. You can't discount them. In some ways, they've actually grown the market. It's like Air Deccan coming in grew the market. OTAs coming in have grown the market. Unfortunately, the pie is, you know, growing more slowly than the number of agents that want to feed off it. So if the pie grows bigger, everybody has space. But while this growth continues the way it is, and we've all seen the downward trend in the last few months in terms of even domestic travel, which was growing at 18% year on year for the last 3 years, has now taken a nosedive. We need to bring out the value of a travel agent through public awareness, through community outreaches, by talking to the media. You need to get people aware, and travel agents themselves need to behave a little more professionally. You've got to take pride in what you do. You're not a trader selling toothbrushes or a pencil. At the end of the day, you're selling yourself. And if you don't have pride in that, then you're vitiating the market for everybody else who does. That is again another very important role that the associations can play, which is to bring in a code of ethics and try their damnedest to enforce it. You will never get 100%. But as long as the association believes in a code of ethics and works towards implementing it and having members follow it, and those members that blatantly violate it should be told, thank you very much, we don't need you. So somewhere we've got to tighten our belts, somewhere we've got to open our minds, we've got to increase awareness, we've got to go into niches, we've also got to sell air tickets, and we've got to be remunerated for them. And that is the only way we're going to survive. And another very important aspect of the associations is lobbying. Now, every other successful travel agents association or tour operators association in every other country talks day in and day out to the government on policy. We're so fragmented that nobody's taken us seriously. As the SATSA CEO said the last time when he was there at our convention in Macau, he says, put it together, what is your industry worth? He says, we did this exercise. This is the number of trucks this person owns, this is the number of buses this person owns, this is the amount of business this person does. We put it all together and went to the government and said, hey, we are an X billion industry. When you put it to them in terms of number of people that are part of this industry and the amount of money this industry is worth, is when you can make them wake up and listen. We haven't even begun that exercise. We need to put figures of who we are. We need to, for want of a better word, blow our own ruddy trumpet and bring it to the fore of what is it that we contribute. And we've got to be a little more professional about it in our dealings with our people, in our dealings with our colleagues, in our dealings with our staff. That's the only way to go.
No, you've actually summed up a lot of things that we personally feel and thoroughly believe, because two things. One is public awareness. You're strong. Your data needs to be so strong that when you're talking at a forum, people listen to you. That's what you're saying, Ajay. You're saying that we need to be professionals. That's a very, very serious word in this business, because code of ethics is dwindling.